Good morning, my name is Josh from CyclonesOZ, and here's your detailed weather forecast update for Monday the 18th of August 2025. Plenty to talk about in today's weather forecast update, including heaps of rainfall expected for the central New South Wales coastline, the northeast New South Wales coastline and the South East Queensland coastline, with up to 250 millimetres now on the cards throughout the course of this week. We're also talking about a heap of rainfall coming in Tuesday and Wednesday across southwest and western Australia. I'll get to that in a later part of this forecast update, but let's get stuck straight into things this morning over into the central New South Wales coastline. If you are brand new to the channel, please do consider subscribing. But over into New South Wales, you can see heaps of showers and rainfall beginning to build in what is going to be a very wet start to the week across a wide swathe of central New South Wales. You can see rainfall in the form of heavy showers is beginning to build offshore from Sydney and Newcastle this morning, and these showers have really got themselves going into the last 3 or 4 hours or so, and you can see some heavy rainfall now beginning to extend across the Illawarra coastline through Wollongong, and these showers will only be a couple of hours away from the Sydney metro area, adding to their record wettest start, what is shaping up to be one of the wettest Augusts on record across the Sydney metro area. This rainfall is really not helping them at all in their quest to dry out before their actual wet season, their actual storm season starts. So this rainfall here is really getting to be quite problematic, and it's going to continue throughout the course of this week as well. Some of these showers are packing a punch, so get used to this radar imagery because it's going to be around for the next 72 hours or so. And as you can see, widespread swathes of rainfall here pushing 10 to 15 to even 20 or 30 millimeters an hour in pockets, with a few heavier showers embedded further out to sea, and you can see rainfall rates here pushing closer to 100 millimeters an hour in some of the heaviest of showers out here. These showers will make it further up the coastline through Newcastle later this afternoon and this evening, and this is where we'll take a look at the forecast. You can see these heavy showers really properly beginning to develop throughout the last couple of hours, and they're really beginning to take shape across the New South Wales coastline, expected to extend through the Sydney metro area, south to Wollongong and north to Newcastle, including Gosford, through later this morning and into early this afternoon. Showers are expected to be at their heaviest later tonight into early tomorrow morning. They won't really pull back from that right through Tuesday. You can see heavier showers still expected here and there through Tuesday morning until about Tuesday afternoon, when they will take a little bit of a hiatus, and then through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning we're expecting showers to retain a lot of that moisture and a lot of that energy and remain very heavy at times through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning before finally pulling away a little bit. Still some heavier showers expected through Wednesday and into Thursday, and in fact that could turn to rainfall at times across parts of the New South Wales coastline between Sydney across towards Newcastle through the Hunter and parts of the metro, and then this rainfall will finally begin to properly ease off after Friday and into Saturday, when this pulls away from the New South Wales coastline as a proper defined low pressure system. Like I said, the rainfall at its heaviest tonight into tomorrow morning, then once again Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and then a brief period of rainfall is expected, which could be moderate at times through Thursday and into Friday morning. That's going to lead to some pretty significant rainfall accumulations, which, as you can see on the forecast modelling right now, from today right out towards Friday are pushing close to 100 millimetres across a wide swathe of central New South Wales, including along the metro coastline and down into the Illawarra region. In fact, we could be seeing a few falls approach 200 millimetres in and around coastal locations, especially into some of the mountainous regions outside of Wollongong and Nowra. We could be seeing some falls approaching closer to 200 millimetres there. Rainfall accumulations will be quite heavy, extending 100 millimetres further south to about Jervis Bay and Ulladulla, and then about 50 millimetres as far south as Narooma and Batemans Bay. Rainfall accumulations will then drop off as you get further south of about Narooma, and rainfall accumulations between 10 to 40 millimetres are expected right down to the New South Wales Victoria border. The heaviest falls, like I said, around the Wollongong area. They will extend north to Sydney, which means the eastern suburbs south of Sydney could pick up some significant rainfall accumulations as well, looking at falls between 100 to 150 millimetres or so in a few pockets. Rainfall accumulations will then drop off a little bit, with only a brief period of heavy rainfall expected Tuesday further north of about Sydney, which means Gosford, and then up to about Newcastle, Nelson Bay, and then Foster and Taree are looking at somewhere between that 50 to 80 millimetre mark, as opposed to triple figure rainfall accumulations, but still some good falls are expected into this pocket of New South Wales. And we could also see some good rainfall accumulations further upstream into the Hunter region, up to Muswellbrook and Singleton. We could be seeing some good rainfall accumulations there, pushing close to 100 millimetres at times, and even the Barrington Tops outside of Gloucester and then Maroondy, we could be seeing rainfall accumulations pushing close to 100 millimetres as well, but that's likely to be as a result of the rainfall developing across the northeast of New South Wales, which I'll talk about in just a few moments. Rainfall is kind of the only threat here, as you can see from wind accumulation, which is the strongest wind gust in the selected time period. There's not an awful lot going on in terms of strong winds expected, and that's also going to mean waves aren't expected to be too much of a problem So this is not an East Coast low, as I'm sure everybody's figured out by now. It's just a brief period or a prolonged period rather, of heavy showers and thunderstorms developing offshore from this part of New South Wales, which is going to lead to some pretty significant rainfall accumulations over the next week or so, or the next 4 or 5 days or so. So it's nothing to be concerned about. This sort of weather is no stranger to New South Wales, and we see it every couple of weeks at this time of the year. There is a slight concern of flooding south of Sydney, especially around Wollongong. We may see some minor riverine flooding into this pocket of New South Wales that I'm circling right now. And there is also the chance of some minor flooding in the saturated Hunter catchment as well, depending on how much rainfall falls around the Barrington tops, which at this point in time isn't looking too concerning, but it's definitely a forecast I will be exploring further over on the Facebook page. But in short, for those on the Illawarra coastline, the Metro coastline, and even into parts of the Hunter region in the mid-north coast, flooding and flash flooding is not a big concern at this point in time. Don't get me wrong, there will be some big puddles around, so you'll be navigating some very wet roads, so take it easy there, but flooding is not expected to be a widespread concern, and I want people to breathe that sigh of relief. Unfortunately, for those further north into the northeastern New South Wales coastline, flooding is going to be a concern, and a pretty decent one at that. Starting things off with the rainfall forecast here, we are expecting a mid-level low-pressure system to develop into the mid-levels in the upper atmosphere around the Queensland-New South Wales border, which is going to begin occurring tomorrow. And you can see that coinciding with an increase in the amount of shower activity across southeastern and even parts of south-central Queensland, extending north into the Capricorn coastline, fed by heaps of moisture coming in from the Coral Sea and even parts of the Tasman Sea. As we zoom out here through Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, heaps of showers expected through locations such as Roma, Injune, Taroom, and then down to the New South Wales-Queensland border and over, including places such as Moree, right down to Dubbo and Cobar, with some significant showers expected down there. And widespread falls Tuesday night into Wednesday and even out towards Thursday could be approaching 25 to 60 millimetres into this big pocket of southeastern and south-central Queensland. For this part of Queensland and New South Wales, the rainfall is going to be very welcome indeed, and 25 to 60 millimetres, even with a few spots looking at up to 100 millimetres of rainfall Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. That is going to be some very welcome rainfall indeed. It's going to be that steady but heavy stuff, so the rainfall isn't likely to cause some significant problems in terms of flooding. This is really good stuff for this part of Queensland and New South Wales. Unfortunately, though, the same cannot be said for southeastern Queensland and the northeast of New South Wales, with showers and rainfall, or heavy rainfall at times, getting itself going through Wednesday afternoon and evening, tending to moderate to heavy falls at times through Thursday morning and into Thursday afternoon. Rainfall will be at its heaviest to southeastern Queensland through Thursday morning into early Thursday afternoon, crossing the border into the northeast of New South Wales through late Thursday morning into Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. Rainfall is going to remain heavy through Thursday night into Friday morning across a wide swathe of northeastern New South Wales into southeastern Queensland, before that rainfall finally begins to ease off through Friday night and into Saturday morning as the rainfall pulls away from the coastline. But yeah, that's going to occur, and that's going to result in some pretty significant rainfall accumulations for a wide swathe of northeastern New South Wales and into the southeast of Queensland. Let's break that down for you right now. I don't think the forecast models are really doing the rainfall accumulations justice at this point in time. I do expect some much heavier rainfall accumulations than what the forecast models are suggesting at this point in time. Good falls, as we've discussed, out into this part of Queensland and New South Wales, but even better falls are expected onto the coastline, especially through Thursday and Friday, when the bulk of the rainfall is expected to come through. Maximum rainfall accumulations will be in excess of 200 millimetres here outside of the Gold Coast, extending down the New South Wales coastline. Falls between 150 to 200 millimetres are expected right down from the border, down to as far south as about Port Macquarie and Kempsey at this point in time. The heaviest rainfall accumulations are expected outside of Port Macquarie and Kempsey, then again outside of Coffs Harbour and Grafton, then out into the mountainous regions around Ebor, and then once again south of Lismore into this coastal plain outside of Lismore. We're expecting some very heavy rainfall accumulations as well. Triple figure rainfall accumulations are also expected for the Gold Coast hinterland and extending up to Redland City outside of Brisbane. We're expecting some great rainfall accumulations into this pocket of southeastern Queensland, with heavy falls expected through the Gold Coast as well. In fact, the Gold Coast looking at about 125 millimetres of rainfall. Heavier falls pushing closer to 200 millimetres are possible around the Gold Coast hinterland, and rainfall accumulations, like I said, pushing close to, if not above 200 millimetres expected south over the border and towards the northeast of New South Wales. I expect the heaviest rainfall to occur outside of Coffs Harbour, out to Ebor, and then out around Nambucca Heads, Kempsey and Port Macquarie, with up to 250 millimetres now being a possibility through Thursday and Friday. Some serious rainfall is expected to get itself going into this pocket of New South Wales, not to mention the fact that they're also expected to get a few showers through today and tomorrow, with probably 25 millimetres on both days into this pocket of New South Wales, which is going to make them really soggy ahead of the rainfall that's going to come through during that time period through Thursday and Friday. So again, flooding is going to be a pretty big concern into this part of New South Wales. And Now, minor flooding is expected to extend across a wide swathe of northeastern New South Wales, including rivers outside of Lismore, Grafton, Yamba, Coffs Harbour, Nambucca Heads, Kempsey, Port Macquarie, and then down around the Barrington Tops and into the Hunter region as well. Considering how saturated they are, even though they're not expecting huge rainfall accumulations, we are expecting minor flooding to be a possibility into this pocket of New South Wales. Moderate flooding is going to be possible around Kempsey, Coffs Harbour and Port Macquarie, and then again north to Lismore and Grafton, and potentially in a few rivers around the Gold Coast hinterland as well. Major flooding is a remote chance at this point in time, but it's also a possibility around Kempsey and Port Macquarie, and then again outside of Lismore. It is going to happen for a brief period of time if it does happen through Thursday night into Friday morning. I'm not expecting major flooding to be too much of a concern, so I think we can discount that risk right now. However, if this does change, I'll let you know over on the Facebook page and in tomorrow morning's forecast update. I do think that these rainfall forecast accumulations, which you can see here on this forecast model, the eastern weather, are just being a little bit underdone here. I think the eastern weather has been quite conservative with some of the rainfall coming through, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw pockets, considering how warm the sea temperatures are, picking up that 250 millimeter mark, which is much heavier than the rainfall the forecast models are suggesting at this point in time. So take that with a heavy pinch of salt, but considering the really warm sea temperatures and the available energy for these showers and rainfall systems to get themselves going, I do seriously believe that we could be seeing some pretty serious rainfall accumulations as a result of this rainfall event that's going to develop across New South Wales northeast and the southeast of Queensland. It'll be very interesting to see what does happen with the rainfall here. Like I said, the heaviest stuff coming through Thursday and into Thursday night. So flooding is going to be at its worst Thursday night into Friday morning and early Friday afternoon. I recommend, if you do live in a really flood prone area, especially through the northeast of New South Wales, having a few sandbags on standby and perhaps an evacuation plan as well, ready to roll in case flooding does become too much of a concern for your region. It's definitely a possibility that flooding does get out of hand into this part of New South Wales, so make sure you do have that emergency plan in place just in case it does. It's certainly going to be an interesting time, that's for sure. And of course, if you've got any questions or comments or concerns, let me know in the comment section down below. I'll respond to everybody today. And also hit me up over on the Facebook page as well, and I'll help you out over there. But it'll be interesting to see what does happen from this rainfall event. We'll have plenty more information on how much rainfall is expected to come through later today, tomorrow, and into Wednesday. And of course, when this low pressure system does form, we'll know exactly how much rainfall is going to develop, which is going to happen through tomorrow and into early Wednesday morning. That's going to do it for Eastern Australia. I'm going to completely bypass the southeast and the central parts of the nation as well, because we have more severe weather over west. You can see the next approaching cold front here for southwest and Western Australia is rapidly coming in from the west. It's still got a lot of ground to cover before it makes its impacts felt through tomorrow night and into Wednesday morning. A few showers currently out into the Wheatbelt region, especially south of Southern Cross, and then outside of Ravensthorpe and Bremer Bay. We've got a few showers down here into this part of Western Australia. We're expecting rainfall to begin to kick up across the southwest Capes from tomorrow morning onwards, and you can see as that cold front does begin to approach, it's really expected to pick up quite a lot of steam, quite a lot of moisture on final approach to the southwest corner of Western Australia. That means heavy rainfall is expected to kick up through early tomorrow morning across a wide swathe of southwestern WA, reaching the Perth metro area in a moderate capacity from about 10 o'clock onwards, give or take an hour or two depending on how far north or how far south you are. Rainfall will be moderate at times through late tomorrow morning and into early tomorrow afternoon through the Perth suburbs, especially into the southeast and the east. Rainfall accumulations of between 20 to 30 millimetres from the initial frontal band are expected to occur across a wide swathe of Perth suburbs. Give or take a little bit, they will be lighter around the coastline and heavier further inland into the hills. Heavy rainfall accumulations are also expected further north, with a few thunderstorms expected to develop north of Gingin out through to as far north as about Killarney and Dalwallinu, and rainfall accumulations are expected to remain heavy as this frontal system creeps further inland. Then we're expecting a second rain band to develop in the wake of that first cold front coming through, and that's going to develop through later tomorrow night and into early Wednesday morning for the Perth metro area, with some moderate rainfall accumulations expected right through the night Tuesday and into Wednesday, which will leave another 30 or 40 millimetres in many of the rain gauges around Perth, leading to some pretty significant rainfall accumulations as we wake on Wednesday morning. Rainfall will continue from showers and storms coming through from another frontal system coming through behind this weather system later Wednesday afternoon, and then a few showers expected to kick up here and there through Thursday, drawing away from the coastline through Friday and into Saturday, with what looks to be a dry start to the weekend actually on Saturday, with maybe a few thunderstorms expected here and there. So it'll be interesting to see what does develop out into the Wheatbelt region. Certainly interesting, that's for sure. But yeah, rainfall accumulations are looking quite juicy, that's for sure, across the southwest of Western Australia, especially through Tuesday afternoon and evening. And then once again through Wednesday morning, we're expecting some very heavy rainfall accumulations to develop. This will look at falls over the next 5 days, which encompasses that rainfall coming through on Tuesday and Wednesday. And there's not a whole lot expected before or after that. So it is a pretty accurate picture of what's coming through from this frontal system. And you can see a wide swathe of accumulations between 40 to 60 millimetres expected around the Perth metro area, with an even heavier swathe pushing closer to 50 to 60 millimetres north of Perth around Jurien Bay, inland through Moora and Merredin, much like the rainfall event that we had about 3 weeks ago into this part of Western Australia as well. So they're looking at above average rainfall again for August, which would be interesting to see. And the Eastern River is actually the least bullish of all of the major forecast models. You can see other major forecast models such as the Icon expecting closer to 60 millimetres of rainfall through the Perth metro area, and the Axis going closer to 70 or even 80 millimetres of rainfall in a few pockets. So definitely some heavy falls are expected through parts of the Perth metro area, that's for sure. The GFS is also inclined to call for some pretty significant rainfall accumulations, which is unusual from them. So some heavy rainfall is most certainly going to occur through Tuesday and into Wednesday, and I feel like it's going to end up being a lot heavier than what the forecast models are suggesting at this point in time, or what the official forecast is suggesting at this point in time. Also some strong wind gusts expected through Tuesday morning on the leading edge of this weather system coming through, with some especially strong wind gusts through Wednesday and into Thursday across the southwest coast, between 80 to 100 kilometres an hour wind gusts are possible down there. And then looking a little bit more forward across the southwestern corner of Western Australia, this cold front will then go off and impact the southeast of the nation in a bit of a minor capacity. And then from Sunday and Monday the 24th down to about the 26th of August, we're expecting a brief period, or a prolonged period actually, of shower and rainfall activity to close off winter, or to close off the official end of winter across southwest and Western Australia. And it looks like a picture perfect start to spring as well, at least that's what the forecast models are suggesting right now. But it looks like that rainfall will bypass the southwest of Western Australia after about the 28th or the 29th of August for a prolonged period of time. So enjoy it whilst it lasts. But on that note, this video is going to have to end off here. It's been an absolute mission to do it. I've had storage problems on both my phone and my computer, and as such, this is the second iteration of it. In fact, for the face cam, it's the third iteration of it, because nothing would end up saving. So I'm going to leave it here. It's my time to stop at this point in time on a Monday morning. This video is going to feel like a long week if this is how it's going to continue to be. I do hope you found this video enjoyable and informative, and preferably both. And if you have, then please do consider leaving a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Let's stay safe over in New South Wales. Any concerns with the flooding or the rainfall coming through, then please do hit me up over on Facebook or in the comment section as well. I'll be sure to get back to you at some point during today. It is definitely a bit of a worrying time, especially with how much rainfall pockets of New South Wales have had, but I want everybody to remain calm, cool and collected, and also dry during this wet period that they are now entering into. A special shout out to the channel sponsors. Their names are on screen right now, and again, I could not run this show without them, so of course their support is as always much appreciated. But that is going to do it for me today, and I'll catch you all in the next storm. Goodbye.